Okay.
Mr. Deal.
How are you? Welcome everybody to the town board meeting. This town board meeting is called to order at 7:01. Chris will go by this now.
Councilman Pavoldi?
Here.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Here.
Councilman Gray?
Here.
Councilwoman Mora? Here. Supervisor Esposito?
Present. Also present is our town attorney, Gerard Parisi. Nancy, would you like to give the invocation? We all stand for the invocation and pledge. Allegiance. Nancy?
Father God, we come before you tonight asking for your wisdom, knowledge, and discernment for those representing us to know your will for Princetown. We ask your peace and unity that only you can give. Thank you for working your will in our town. Bless those who represent us and their families. We pray, as your word says, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. We declare this for our town. In Jesus' name.
Please remain standing for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Privilege of the floor. At every scheduled town board meeting, the public shall have the right to address the town board during a portion of the meeting referred to as privilege of the floor. Members of the public should restrict their comments to items of town business. Although there is no official time constraint, speakers should be considerate of others so that all interested members of the public have an opportunity to be heard. There shall be one portion of the meeting dedicated to privilege of the floor near the beginning of each meeting. All remarks and questions shall be addressed to the board. No person shall enter into discussion with a person having the floor. Council members may address any comments during the portion of the meeting referred to as council members' comments. We'll open up privilege of the floor at 7:03.
Say that again? I came here to ask questions.
Could you stand up?
Yes, sir. My name is
state your name?
Jeffrey Pelkey, at 397 Florida Road, Carsville, and I'm also Princetown. And I have issues with our neighbor's dog parking. It's a farm, and I guess they're exempt, but now they're a nuisance, and they leave the dogs out all night. I mean, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. We can't sleep. We've addressed it. We've called the police, we've called the troopers, the sheriff, the dog warden, we've called everybody. And now they're saying we're harassing them because we're asking them to stop their dogs from barking all night so we can live peacefully. They just moved in. It's, I don't know if I can name the farm or not, but Serenity Silos, right next door to us, our property's border. So I think it's a nuisance, and they leave their dogs out all night on purpose. And I've never seen a farm do that before, where they're allowed to do that. We're at our wit's end.
Did you want to, let's address that right now.
Yeah, that's the incident I spoke to you about at the last meeting. And I went up there to see what was going on and looked at the law. And the only exemption on the law is for guard dogs for livestock on a working farm. And I spoke to both parties, and when I spoke to the dog owners, they said the reason they bought these dogs, which are Great Pyrenees, those type dogs are for a guard dog for a working farm. They had livestock that were taken out by coyotes, and that was the reason why they got them.
What farm is this?
It's on Florida Road, Serenity Silos. And apparently there was something in Aga Market's law that began out of Allegheny County for somebody that was protecting their pikas, which are like llamas.
Is
And
that Roger Patterson's old farm?
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it is. You guys know better than I do up there.
Yes.
We have
Father
many
drug-
farms, they don't use barking dogs to
Yeah,
protect their
My
lives.
father drug milk out of it.
They
But
leave them
I'm
out
just-
all night long.
I'm just, you know, if you're concerned with your animals, why don't you put them away at night? Then you won't have to have your dogs out all night protecting them.
Are they out in the field?
They're out in
And
the field.
he
Yeah,
admitted
they're-
he taught them to bark.
Yeah. there's
They're
dogs
trained for that reason.
Trained to bark.
They're trained to alert any, whether it be wildlife, even something as like white-tailed deer. Certain people, they gotta keep deer off for parasitic reasons. But that's what they're trained for. They're trained to keep any predators or any wildlife off their property. So their livestock are out at night. They don't have them housed all in a barn. Their chickens are, all the different variations. They have goats, I think, also.
Yeah,
And they do have cattle too, right?
yeah, they have cattle and
Yeah,
turkey.
so they have quite a few different varieties of, livestock there. And they are a working farm. They do sell the poultry and things like that. They have a store. So as far as I see, the way the law is on that they are a working farm. It's not just their pets. If it was just pets on a piece of property, they wouldn't have any business just barking all night. They would have to quiet them down.
Did you say it was state law?
Believe it's Aga Markets. It's in our town local law. And it was revised. There was a point before that where if any dog was barking, and you're aware of this because we're talking about the noise ordinances. So the only real noise ordinance is against barking dogs. But in their situation, which is frustrating for them because they were trying to pad the room, soundproof it.
We did.
Because their barking is coming right over the hill.
I
But
have
new
sheetrock
windows.
over my brand new windows.
It's-
A piece of sheetrock
We
with
just
foam
cover
on the
everything.
What
backside.
house do you live
We're about probably 300 feet, 400 feet from the back of their barn,
in?
to the left.
Going in their driveway, the house on the left?
We're actually 3 houses away from them, but our property borders theirs. And at night, I don't know if everybody's been out at night, sound travels for miles. But this is like they're in your
Two
living room.
big dogs barking all night
They're
long.
huge dogs.
They don't stop, and they never. let
And I
these
get it,
dogs
they're gonna
inside.
bark at wildlife, but I don't see the wildlife out there 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Anytime you walk out the door at night, they're out there barking. I have to sleep in my living room half the time because I can't sleep at night. I'm fed up. I'm not gonna move because somebody moved in with barking dogs. I need to know where I can turn to fix this situation. Because I'm frustrated. I'm beyond frustrated. This has been going on since last June.
We've been out there 26 years, and then they moved in 3 years ago, and then this.
We just don't know where to turn. That's why we're here.
You
And
live in Roger Patterson's second house that he built, because I drilled the well there.
Oh, okay.
I live in Otto and Myra Schwartz's old house.
Yep. The
I
brick,
don't know if
brick
it's a
ranch.
brick raised ranch.
next to
Go one
Cindy and
more.
John Warner, right?
One more?
Yeah, go one more down.
Oh, okay, you're one more down going towards,
Right, but there's no trees, there's nothing, it's our properties bought against each other, we own property, and it's just frustrating, we don't know what to do. We've tried everything, and now it's,
And the neighbors complained as well.
yeah, we're not the only ones, but
Right.
nobody will speak
There's
up.
many neighbors that have complained.
Nobody will
about
speak
the
up,
barking
at the town board meeting.
and actually address these people, and they've done nothing. They could
We
care less.
tried nicely,
Especially now, they know they're protected by this
Well, yeah,
right
that's
to
it.
farm.
but I don't know.
have you talked to an attorney?
No, I haven't,
We have to live there.
we tried to work it out with them.
Yep,
Then, we called the police, that obviously escalated, it made it worse. Then dog warning went up, and it seems to make it worse. Now they're saying we're harassing them,
yep. She put
so we
something
can't
on
even text them and
Facebook.
say, hey, Joe, can you quiet your dog down? We can't even say anything to them, because we'll be harassing them.
Yep.
So we don't say a word, we're just trying to live our life quietly,
Yeah.
I get it, they make noise, I get it, your dog's gonna bark, our dog barks,
She's, yeah.
but not all.
She's brought in size,
Get a four-wheeler.
and quiet, not quiet.
I'm just wondering, if they're so worried about their animals, why wouldn't they put them in a fenced-in area
In the barn.
and where you don't need your dogs out barking all night? I just,
Probably don't have a room.
no,
I've got a copy of this law that Ben is talking about. He sent it to me, and I think Bristol's got it too.
Now, is there a nuisance law where
There
at what
is-
point
there
does
is
it
a-
become a
It says
nuisance?
over there, a judge ruled on this, that if it's a working farm, they have a right to have dogs to
But
guard their
they're-
property,
They're-
guard their
But they're not
animals.
protecting them from
They're-
anything, because
they're-
there's nothing threatening them at the time.
There are two reasons.
Yep.
It's for herding,
Yep.
which aren't gonna bark.
Correct.
Well, they'll be yapping when they're herding, and guard dogs. And like I was saying before, in the law, it's because of wildlife. There's no way for really anybody to prove that. You'd have to be watching 24/7 at night. I mean, to see, are there deer out there, or is there anything out there? It could be raccoons or anything.
Sure.
But that's why, when I spoke to him, he didn't train these two dogs to annoy the neighbors. He did that because they did take quite a hit with livestock. And that's why he got, these two dogs are designed for that. They're designed to guard farm livestock. Great Pyrenees, that's why they're such big dogs. So he invested the money to have them trained and went through all the things that he did. And I understand like the situation, but the only reason I can't do anything is that's because the law, they meet the criteria for the
They
exemption.
took The toy dogs took their animals because they left them out.
Well, I know, but
You think about
they're
it,
farm
it's-
animals. Farm animals are gonna
We
be
have other
out.
farms. I just gotta say, we have other farms on our same street
Mm-hmm.
that don't have dogs barking all night to protect their ducks and their geese that are running all over the place.
Right.
And they
Well,
don't
you have a lot of different,
There's a lot of
you have a lot of different livestock. I'm not a farmer, but my brother, they don't put everything in the barn at night. I mean,
I just need to know where I can go from here
Okay.
to rectify the situation, because I can't live like this. And I'm not gonna sell my house.
I mean, all we can do is, I can look at briefly if we have any ability to do anything. But I don't know that the town has any ability to do anything. I haven't, it's the first time
Right.
dealing with it.
And
So
I
I have
understand.
to do a little research, but your other option is to see an attorney to see if you have a civil action against them for nuisance, but not necessarily to the town. I don't know if there's a law in place that we can't supersede.
That's why I was just coming in to
Yeah,
find
and I
out
don't
if there's a
know the answer.
nuisance
I don't know.
ordinance for the town.
I'd have to give it
Yeah.
some effort to see. I haven't read the law or anything on that, so.
I read the whole law and the ruling on it. Crystal, would you send that to Gerard and the rest of the board?
I can take a little look at it to see, and maybe it can be tailored, I have no idea. We'll have to look into it.
Sure. Yeah,
But I'm not sure we can do anything or not at this point.
sure.
Okay, any others?
I'd just like to, Britt Pomeroy, and I'd like to report from the environmental committee that we're happy, it's April, spring is here, and the 29th of this month is Recycle and Environmental Day. And Jim Cavoldi has got the spring Princetown news, and it's gonna be in everybody's mailbox probably this week, right?
Yes, it'll be in everybody's mailbox by Thursday.
And we've got our sign up, and you probably saw it as you drove in. And we're getting it in the Gazette, and I sent it into the Times Union and stuff, and we'll see. Now, inflation is affecting the situation, because last year we got less seedlings than the old days. And this year, we have less seedlings than, we have 300 seedlings instead of, 500, because the price keeps going up, and our budget is flat. So, just so you know. And it's from 8 a.m. to noon. The seedlings will be available at 8. And we're also talking about, we were studying the county emergency plan, and we're going to maybe have 1 or 2 educational sessions this fall. So we try to do more than just the recycle day. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Britt. Any others?
I'm back again. I just wanted, my name's Tom Nelson. I live at 783 Pattersonville Road. I'm adjacent neighbor to the solar facility going in on the Brooks property. And I didn't know you guys had the meeting last month. being it was a state of emergency and everything, but, with the snowstorm. But, I wanted to find out what's going on and, how you guys are proceeding with, the facility up there.
Okay, thank you. Any others?
Good evening, Town Board. For those of you who don't know me, I'm privileged to be the town historian. And what I wanted to do and announce tonight, sometime in May, probably not Memorial Day weekend, probably maybe like the weekend before or something like this, we're going to have a Veterans Recognition Day for the spring and the fine veterans like we had last fall that we wish to recognize as a town and a town board. So I will sit with Nicole and, Crystal, and we will come up with a plan, a small type of get together like we had last fall, and just to recognize our fine veterans and thank them for their service around Memorial Day. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you. Any others? Okay, we'll close privilege of the floor up at 7, what is that, 17. Department committee reports. Have anything for them?
No, nothing was going on.
Okay, water. Wesley's not here, he's off this week. Let's see, March 2023 gallons pumped, 1,547,600. Maximum daily usage 65,000, minimum daily usage 16,800. Daily average 49,900. We had the following water main breaks, leaks. Repair of the hydrant from 1434 Gifford Church Road, still waiting on parts. Pressure reducing valve at Gifford Church Road, booster pump station, still waiting on parts. Issues work done, parts for the gate valve and rear drive PRV pit have arrived. Work will begin shortly. General maintenance performed, respectfully submitted. West Blessing. Any discussions? Doug? No. Ben? Jim? Okay. Do we have anything from Tom?
Yeah.
Here. Building inspector. Total permits 3, permits issued 3. Permit inspection fees collected $416, building inspections 4, zoning review 1, fire inspection 0, final building inspections 1, certificates of occupancy compliance 1, bank deposit $416, check to supervisor 00, check with balance as of April 11th, 2023, $1,053.24. Activities in zoning 1, working on planning and zoning as needed, working on permit final inspection as needed, reviewing plans as needed. Thomas Verini, building inspector. Doug, got anything? Any questions? Discussion?
Maybe later.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you're up, Ben. You got anything?
There's hasn't been anything going on other than the incident up at Florida Road. It's been quiet. Haven't had any complaints or many missing dogs at all. So everything's good.
Okay, you got anything from the judge?
We don't, she's on vacation this week, and there's no court this week. Carol wanted to do it, other than that, there's no,
Okay. You got anything from the assessor?
no report from the assessor.
Okay, buildings and grounds. We put in the new slides over here to protect the the town, or our employees. The windows were open on the bottom. Everybody knows what's going on in this country with this violence and gun violence that's been going on. I think it's time that we start protecting our employees, so we had these plates made up and slides put in so that no one can stick a gun under the window. We all know that you can't carry firearms in a public building, unfortunately. But I think that's one step. I'm also proposing that we keep these doors locked, courtroom doors locked during the day, and they're only open for town board meetings and for the court. I'm gonna have the locks changed and give them to Crystal and to the courtroom. I'll keep a copy, but I'm proposing that we get that done if everybody thinks it's a good idea.
These two doors there.
Yes. Because of that problem we had before, that guy coming in, and I think it's a good idea. I think security is very important today. Unfortunately, we're living in times over here that, which is surprising to me. So we're in agreement on that, and I'll have that done? Doug?
We should have them look at this back door
Yes.
while he's here.
Yeah, we
He's
gotta-
got a problem with that.
When I get that, they come over for that, we'll get that done. Okay. I was talking with our sheriff, Mike Gerasi, today. He hasn't been attending the meetings, he got a promotion, he's more into administration now. But he proposed to me that he teaches active shooter training. This is not a foolproof thing, but he suggested that if we're interested, he would come in and meet with the staff and the town board and show us how to protect ourselves in the case of an active shooter coming in. I don't know what the town board thinks about that, but it might not be a bad idea. It doesn't cost anything. He said he would come in and he teaches it. I don't know if they're teaching it in school then, are they?
Yeah, we look at that stuff.
Is it, is something worthwhile to look into?
Sure, yeah, it's gonna be free, man.
Then we ought to be able to carry. I got 3 pistols and I can carry concealed.
Unfortunately,
How's that sound?
we can't bring them into the
Well,
public
then we
building.
can change the law for town of Princetown.
We can't do that.
I don't think we can, right? Because it's a New York State law, isn't it?
Yeah, we can't change that. We can't have the
I
public.
doubt it.
No. Unfortunately, you
I
can't
got
bring
a
it
brand
in.
new one I haven't even shot yet. I wouldn't even know I got it on.
You gotta run for higher office, don't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do it, I haven't shot you.
There's an ex-federal judge over there. Did you have a pistol with you all the time?
And I did on occasion, but, you know, that was 10 years ago, and now it's all changed. You know, we didn't have the violence in society that we have then. Yes, I would have security, and in our building, Leo O'Brien building, you know, was very secure and very protected. So,
Does this is for anybody that wants to come in and get this training too. It doesn't have to be to the town board or the staff here. But he said he would come in and do it if anybody's interested in it.
But what I'm saying is if you don't have a gun and he comes in, what am I supposed to do?
That's what he's gonna teach us.
Well, I know, but unfortunately, we can't change the law. That's a state thing, so
We're gonna find out what to do, us not
I
having
don't know.
Hide.
Should we do it or
Get
not?
under the desk?
it. Yeah.
Well, that was the advantage of having him here during our meetings, but, you know, the other option is he might be able to, since he's part of the administration, maybe he can have a deputy here for 60 minutes maximum, just during
It's
privileged.
not only for the town board meetings, it's for the staff
Yeah.
too, training for them. I'm more concerned like for the the staff over here that are working during the day, you never know what's gonna happen to
Well,
that.
we've hardened this building pretty good. We've got bulletproof glass. You just had this slides installed. We have locks on all the doors. So we've done, I mean, that's what my business was risk management. So from a risk management perspective, I mean, I'm happy to have him come in, but I think that we have hardened the building to the degree that we could reasonably harden it against that type of a thing. Because when you have bulletproof glass and you have steel slides and locking doors, there's not much, you know, a shooter could do with our employees at this point in time. But in an open room like this, it's a different story.
That's why it should.
But now, Lou,
I
let
should
me
have
ask you
one
something.
right here.
What type of a security system do we have here? Because we have two major law enforcement agencies here. Do we have like a 24-hour security here, or is it on during the day that,
Yeah, they have panic buttons here.
you know, that all someone has to do is just, you know, press a button or something like that,
You
and,
know, they don't respond that quick. The sheriff, the state police is on patrol, they're not in that building all day long.
no, I understand that, but I
And the
mean,
sheriff's department is in and out too. You know, they're not here.
but does
You
my,
call right now, the state police, they have two on patrol at night, and that's it. And they're out on the road. They could be in Schoharie, parts of Schoharie that they patrol.
okay, I just wondered, you know, but we do have a, definitely like an ADT or some type of security.
You got the panic buttons, right?
We do, we
Okay,
have security cameras, that's,
And we got cameras all around the building too.
okay.
I could be sitting here with it and not a problem.
Think I should?
Be as non-veteran.
Well, talking about security, Crystal ordered a new cell phone for our building inspector. And it arrived on Tuesday,
Monday,
Monday. It was placed in his office,
unopened.
and the box was unopened. When Tom came in, the box was already opened and the cell phone was gone. How much did that cost?
$500.
$500. So there's,
Right in Apple phone. It's cheap.
right here in the town hall, had to be during the day, had to be somebody that had access to the building somehow. They were here during the day,
I don't want it.
so,
And how bad do you want a cell phone? Oh, I have a smartphone.
so we lost the five.
We're gonna check the cameras and we'll see if anything turns out.
Hopefully we can find out what it was, but,
Do you have insurance on it, Lou?
Unfortunately, in New York State, under a business plan, you can't put insurance on your phone.
Really? Whoever uses it, you could find out.
I can call Verizon, they might have find my iPhone turned on or something like that.
Oh, I'm sure you could. All the person has to do is use it once.
okay. They're still working on the air conditioning system over here that's being replaced. They haven't finished it yet, but they promised that Eastern said that they'd have it done by warm weather. So they got the condensers in, the new condensers, but they haven't finished them yet.
Warm weather's tomorrow.
Okay, anything else? That's all I have on that. Any questions? So then we won't do this thing with Jurassic there, Mike.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm against it, I'm just saying that, you know, we have done a lot of hardening of our building that we could do. Beyond that, I mean, if he wants to come in and provide some training to tell you what to do in the event of an active shooter, I mean, this is a public building, it's a wide open building. You know, I mean, the fundamental rule for active shooting is to not make yourself a stationary target. I guess that's the big thing, but he's welcome to come in. I'm not saying I don't want him to come in.
Well, we have a limited staff here anyway, everybody's part-time, but I'll talk with the rest of the people over here, the ones that are here during the day, and if they wanna do it, then we'll do it. How's that?
Sounds good.
It's good with me. Okay, that's all I have. Any questions?
You know, Lou, one more thing with that is, it might be a good idea too, because with the tax season and whenever that comes up, Isla probably has a number of checks in there that, you know, I'm sure they're probably secure, but there's probably quite a lot of money around tax time in there, you know?
We don't take cash, do we?
I collect taxes, we do, but everything is deposited within 24 hours, and anything that's kept overnight is kept in our vault, not in our offices.
You're on the ball.
Okay. Moving on then. Oh, Crystal, you got it.
Speaking of taxes, yes, we are in our last month of tax collection here at the clerk's office. The last day to pay taxes to the town is April 30th. After this date, all unpaid bills will be turned over to the county for further collection. That's all.
Okay. Do you have an email account?
Me?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you give it to Crystal and she can send you a copy of that,
Yes.
that law that was done, what the town board is gonna have? If you wanna give it to her, you wanna give it to her?
Yeah,
now?
we're just writing it down because this is not televised.
Uh,
We don't want your email going out on TV.
Yeah, Thank you.
Okay, that's all you have, Crystal?
That's all I have.
Okay, public hearing. Amendment to the Water District Rules and Regulations, summary of fees, penalties, and service charges. We'll open the public hearing up at, what is that, 7:34?
Gene Russo, Gifford Church Road. I see in here you have, for in district uses for water costs, there's no out of district usage costs in here, just for curiosity. In other words, have in district users cost per gallon. And there's, I just wondered, I thought the one out of district was higher cost.
It is.
Well, in here, they only have one for, you have in-use cost, there's no cost for out-of-district use.
I'll have to talk with Leslie about that, but I thought that all of the rates were raised.
Yeah, and that's what I thought, the out-of-district were higher rates when we,
Theirs is raised because their rate is higher to begin with.
right. But in here, water usage is so much, you know, first 2,000 gallons is $295 for in-district use. And there's nothing else I was curious, that's all.
Yeah, normally Wes is here, unfortunately he's
Yeah.
not here tonight, he's on vacation.
And a quick question, when somebody builds in town in a water district, they build a house, they have to hitch into the water system. By state law, it says they have to hitch into the water system. In other words, they build a new house. My question is, if somebody sells a house in a water district, do they have to hitch in also? In other words, if somebody's in a water district, it's not hitched into public water, if they sell that place, do they have to hitch in also?
What, you're talking to the ones that are selling the water?
No, one is no, where somebody's selling a home, and it's not, it's in the water district, but it's not hitched into the system. Do they have to hitch into the system?
Your house,
Like yours, if you were to sell your house, would you have to hitch water into public water?
not hooked up to the water.
Yeah, that rate's being, we're paying that.
But
Are they
are
required?
they required to hitch in?
You have to hook onto the water before you sell. Is that what you're
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I mean, now if you build,
Only if they have a mortgage.
but right now, if you build in a district, you have to hitch into the system. That's state law. Right now, it says if you build in the district, a new home, and there's public water, you have to hitch into it. I just curious, if somebody sells a house that's not hitched in the system, they have to hitch in also.
Only if there's a mortgage to it, the people want to pay cash, if they got the cash to pay for it.
Well, I just curious, because I know.
Banks have to, they're required, if there's town water in front of your house, they won't give you a mortgage.
No, but I mean, even without the mortgage, I was just curious if I know if you build, you have to hitch into it, period. There's no getting around it.
But if you just sell your house and you're not hooking up water, you have to go out in order to sell your house.
That's what I'm trying to be on it.
No, it's not.
I don't recall that as being part
I
of it.
know it was required if you build it, and you have to hitch into it.
I don't recall that as being part, we can look into it.
I know it's still out, if you build a new home into it, you have to get to the water system. We had a couple of cases that complained about this before. They had to put long area to put service, and they didn't want to hitch in, but they were required to do it. I was curious to know the deal with it.
Well, we'll have, like Jim said.
I just curious to know. But the other thing is that usage thing, that's all I was considering about, That's all I got.
Well, those are two things that we're gonna have to look into then, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
How many out of
Okay.
district people do we have? There's not a lot.
what's that?
How many out of district people do we have?
They're not, 1, 2, 3,
It's not many, right?
no, there's like 3 or 4. How many are there? There's 3 or 4 out of district?
Out of district? Yeah, it was all, Old State Farm Road, All State Farms,
There's 3 there,
at least 3.
and then the slaughterhouse there.
The slaughterhouse, and I think there's 3 or 4 down on,
And then we got the one on Commerce Drive.
right, Commerce, right,
Yeah, so there's 4,
right.
or 5, actually 5.
So I mean, in here you have, higher costs for everything else, inside and outside. But except for water users itself, that's the only one that's left blank. They have a higher cost for hitching up meters and stuff like that.
Well, we got that down, so we'll look into it.
Yeah,
We can always add that to it in the next.
right, I just feel it.
Anything else? Anybody else?
Well, we'll finish the public hearing, then we can talk about it.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
Okay, we'll close up the public hearing at 7:40.
So, I thought out of district was 1.5, just 1.5
Yeah, it's
times.
1.5.
So if these rates went up, it would just be 1.5 for the out of district,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Wes went through this
That's how the law
in
is.
detail, and there may be an answer, I just don't know what.
Yeah,
You know what, he wrote a long detailed thing in here. It may actually be in here.
I might be misspeaking, but I thought it was 1.5.
Yeah, it is.
So that if these rates go up X amount, they go up.
He wrote like a whole page.
So that would go up too.
Yeah, I think that's how the
Also
law is.
mentioned it in here, this report from Wes. I can't read it without that.
I don't think it's in here.
No,
Said it goes up 1.5, so no raise would go up. It would be 1.5.
It would just be 1.5 times whatever the industry rate is. Yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah. So I don't know if it has to be in there because it's just the law is 1.5 times whatever industry
Don't
is.
talk about us about it, we're still. No, okay, we tell you,
Yeah.
Can't have two
we
men.
can't get the rates on the industry.
I'll look when I get into it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, meeting minutes. It is hereby resolved that meeting minutes of March 14th regular town board meeting are approved for or as amended. Discussion? there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
It's abstaining.
Okay. And Councilman Gray?
I gotta abstain.
Okay. That's why I was so out of order. That was a weird roll call, sorry.
I didn't make it to the meeting, I fell snow.
Yes.
We'll skip that while Gerard's looking up something here. Next. Actually, over here.
The next one would be the 2022 newsletter. If you want to skip all of them.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Okay, approval of the 2023 town newsletter. Everybody's got a copy of it? Discussion? Hereby resolved that the 2023 newsletter has been approved as written for printing and distribution to residents of the town.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Abstain.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. General funds claims, and hereby resolved the town board approves claims number 60 through 76 in the amount of $20,565.98. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Water funds claims, hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 35 through 45 in the amount of $7,545.96. Discussion?
Make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Trust and agency fund claims, is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 2 in the amount of $858.75. Discussion? Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Highway funds claim is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 3 in the amount of $2,375. This is for snow plowing
I'll
for
make
town roads.
I'll second.
No, that's not for town roads, it's for the state police building in the town.
Oh.
Excuse me, my mistake.
So he made the motion, I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Highway funds transfer, it's hereby resolved that the town board approves a transfer from the general fund to the highway fund in the amount of $2,375 to cover claim number 3 of 2023. Discussion? Is there a motion?
No. I'll second.
Crystal?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed.
Well, I had this exact conversation, like, I'll read you what he wrote. I said, what is the current rate for the first 52,000, in drafting this, I corresponded with Wesley. I said, what is the current rate for the first 52,000, and is it the same for the new commercial users? He responded, he said, the base rate for the first 52,000 was set in the last amendment. It was set at $275. Each year after it was increased by $10 each year after. The base rate for 2023 is $295. With this new change, it would go to 1.5 of $295 for all commercial instructors having 2 or more apartments. The schedule looks good. But having said that, I don't see anything here that indicates the 1.5 for the commercial.
Is that it here, 442.50 versus the 295?
Ah, there you go. Otherwise, does it say, it says in district, use by in district shall cost.
Yeah, there's no out of district reference on here.
Oh, I'm talking commercial versus, he's talking out of district.
Yeah.
Not commercial. So out of district, I don't know if that was discussed.
But it increases 1.5 times, the rate would increase for them.
Commercial's 1.5, I don't know about out of district.
I thought out of district was 1.5 on top of
It
that.
was,
Yes,
that was
1.5.
what it was.
So it's 1.5, and they get it increases proportionally, right?
Yeah, I would assume it's proportional. So for easier numbers, if in district's paying 300 and out of district we pay 450 for a residential.
Yeah, it's not set forth here, maybe it's set forth
I
somewhere
think
else.
it's in the water law.
Yeah. Could be.
And I don't know if it's.
I
Yeah, it
don't know.
is. It is, and it's 1.5
Yeah.
times, am I correct? It's
Yeah.
1.5 times.
Right, yeah, I
So
just,
that goes up.
it's not spelled out, I just PRI's it, so it's, yeah,
And it goes up proportionally.
It may be spelled out in another section of the regulations, that's
right,
not
okay, I just,
affected here.
what was listed in here, I just, it wasn't listed here for a minute, for public hearing, I think.
It is 1.5 times, so it
Right.
would increase proportionally with the rate increase.
It should.
Right?
It should, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we good to move on with this? Or you want to continue to look on it?
It's up to you. Go ahead. If I find it, I'll tell you.
Well, we're all done over here. Council members' comments and discussion.
Well, do we have to move on that?
Yeah, we're done. He's looking for
All right.
something else. Go ahead. Ben, you got anything?
Since the last time we talked, I don't have any updates on the solar. So, I think we talked a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Back in your planning board minutes, when the solar company came to the planning board, they indicated that they were going to install the posts the panels were mounted on by driving them in the ground. They changed that. They're up there with rotary hammer drills.
So there was supposed to be something in the site plan, I guess, that if they hit a certain amount of rock, which we have up here, a ton of it, that they were allowed.
It's all rock.
Yeah, so they were allowed to switch from the less to the more intense one to get through that, is how I understand it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess it's somewhere in the site plan or,
How did they come to the, I guess my other question is to that, is they came to the designation of a negative declaration for significant impact on the seeker. And according to the planning board minutes, that was, that decision was developed because they were driving the posts in. Nothing was said about drilling the posts in afterwards. Also, in the planning board minutes, when they came to their negative declaration, I'm assuming it's the attorney for the solar company said that there would be nothing more than brush hogging up there to clear the land. Well, they clear cut probably close to 25, 30 acres of heavily forested areas. Was that also in the site plan?
I don't know.
I couldn't say that anyway, but I know Ben and I went up there and surveyed this ourselves after, when did we go up, about a month and a half ago? 2 months ago?
Yeah, I might have.
You're saying they didn't clear cut?
No, I didn't say that. I said they gave us a tour of the thing.
Right.
The whole facility, and they answered all our questions about what was going on up there.
Well, that's the third
And
contractor.
They also said, they showed us that they can do that rotary if they had to. That's in there, that's in that law, or that regulation that they had. And we were quite satisfied at the time. I don't know, Ben,
It seemed okay up there, at least from what we saw.
everything there, the stacking of the pallets, we observed nothing to that.
Really, the pallets that are all falling over?
Did we see any falling over?
Well, come on over tomorrow, I'll show them to you. Because you must be blind.
Well, I don't know what that's got to do with anything, but we didn't observe anything that was out of the ordinary.
Well, according
You've already-
to New York
excuse
State
me,
Ag and Markets,
excuse-
that was agricultural
Excuse
land.
me, privilege of the floor are over now, and we're gonna comment on it. This law was passed, we were forced into this, we did not want this. All towns did not want solar or wind. We were forced into it. You gotta go talk to the state about this. They're the ones who says they can do this. This is over 20 megawatts as it is. They can do what they want now. The state is in control of this, not
No, it's
us. Yes, they are.
It's
They take over.
19.9
Look,
AC.
privileges of the floor are over.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you what we're doing. There's nothing we're gonna be able to do about this. Now, you have your options, as was said here before, you can go get an attorney and do what you have to do, because we can't do nothing about this. We passed the ordinance, we passed the resolution, we observed it, we hired an outside attorney that specializes in this, and it cost the town a lot of money to do this. We did what we had to do. You've got the biggest solar project in your town going up in the, I think in the whole state, 99 megawatts. I don't understand this, why this is a concern over here when our own town residents are not complaining about it. They're not complaining at all about this solar project. And we've done our due diligence by doing this. There's nothing else we can do about this. The solar, we did not want it. I did not want it. Those solar panels out there that we have over here, they're
Do you
garbage
remember
as far
the
as
letter
I'm
you
concerned.
wrote
The
in
privileges
the
of
town
floor-
board
The
meeting?
privileges of the floor
Let
are
me tell
over.
you,
The
you got
privileges
egg
of
on
the
your
floor
face
are over.
because you wrote a letter in the town board newsletter that said what a great thing this is.
Only.
Do you want me to bring the letter and show it to you?
Look, privileges of the floor are over. I'm telling you what's been going on over here. We did everything we're supposed to do. We did not want this. I did not want this. We got solar panels out there. We were sold a bill of goods with this. They don't work as far. That's all you're gonna have is solar junkyards over here in 30 years. That's all you're gonna have. From day one, they start losing their efficiency. People that put these on their roofs, what happens when they gotta put a new roof on? They gotta take these off. To me, this is just garbage what they do. As I said in other meetings, try eating solar panels. Taking good farmland away and putting solar panels up on it. I'm not in favor of that. I was not in favor of it. The town board had to deal with this, and we dealt with it the best way we could. I don't understand what this is all about now. This is all we do is talk about these solar projects. We had one up over here that's landlocked, a 5 megawatt one, and we had to listen to the same thing. We're not the ones who wanted this. 67% of the people in Schenectady County voted to do this kind of stuff. 67%. Look it up on the internet. They wanted all of this green energy crap, as far as I'm concerned. That's what they wanted. 67% of the people. Either they didn't know what they were voting on, which I gotta believe a lot of them don't. They say, oh, they word it so it's the greatest thing in the world. We're gonna save the planet. 67% of the people wanted this. 67% of the people wanted this in Schenectady County. I know you live in Montgomery County. 67% of the people wanted it. What's that tell you? Everybody's happy with it. That's the only thing I can see. Am I right? Did I say anything wrong?
And the state has been wanting this for years. The
They
state-
lied to you in your own minutes. I don't care that they're putting it in. It's done and over with. It's going in. The point is to make it go in so I don't have to drink contaminated water in 5 years. Now is the time to stop them and make them do it right. You have your own solar overlay laws. It says they can't leave exposed dirt for over 24 hours without stabilizing it. For 4 days now, they've had open ditches up there with unstabilized dirt all over the place. They don't follow any of the rules. I'm not the bad guy. I'm not trying to be belligerent. I'm trying to protect my land and everybody else down there. And I'm sorry but you're wrong. Larry Spring came here. Joe from Serenity Silos came. I can't remember their name, but the neighbors just down the road came, and they all said they were concerned with it. And we never got an answer. And meanwhile, they're going up there doing whatever they want. I understand you have a part-time building inspector that can't be there 24 hours a day. But they're not doing what they said they were going to do. Regardless of whether it's there or not, they're not doing what they said they were going to do. And that's what I'm concerned about.
Any comments?
About solar,
Pardon?
not about solar.
Jim?
No.
Doug? No. Nicole? That's it.
I'll make the move. Well, before we adjourn this, did you want to talk about what you had mentioned earlier?
I think we should do that.
An executive session, right? Yeah.
Those who access the water yet.
Oh, we still have to pass the water laws?
That's right.
Yes. I'm sorry if I get upset about this, but this has been going on over here.
It's a hot topic,
I
right?
personally did not want this. I personally did not want solar. I'm not a proponent of it, I'm not a proponent of windmills. I don't like taking good farmland away to put solar panels on. I think it's stupid, in my opinion. But I'm only one person, and I'm not the governor, and I'm not in the state legislature. You gotta talk to them. They're the ones who want this nonsense, not me. I did not want it. I didn't want these over here. After I looked into it, it was too late. They promised us the world over here. Some days, some months, we're gonna be paying you. Nothing has been farther from the truth. Every month, we gotta pay. We gotta pay that solar company. Every month, we gotta pay them. It was $103 this month, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right, Crystal? Was it about $103?
Yep, every month it's $100.
Can I just say one thing on the subject?
Yes.
We had asked you before to provide us information. You guys never provided it. Remember, we gave you Ben and my email. If you're gonna make allegations that they did something wrong 4 days ago, you've gotta bring us proof. Like you said, we don't have a building inspector full time. He can't be out there monitoring 24. If something's happened, you gotta bring us proof. Just come in here and say they've.
Have the building inspector come and see me.
They've-
Because
they've-
I've called
they've been
him
out there.
4 times
They've been out there.
with no answer.
They've been out there, and when they've gone out, there hasn't been anything wrong. If
Well,
you
they've
have
never
evidence-
come to stop me. They've never come to see where's the proof.
If you have evidence.
You can
have
walk
to
out
provide it.
there tomorrow and see the open ditches.
They're not gonna walk out there every day. They've been out there, and when they went out there, they did not observe any problems. So you've gotta provide some evidence to support the allegations you're providing, and the building inspector can look further. You can't keep sending him out there every day, when he's gone out there, they've been in compliance. If they're not in compliance with the site plan approval, then the building inspector will address it, but we haven't seen that when we've gone out.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm one person. I can't be the enforcement agency too. I've made you aware that there are problems.
And they've done their due diligence and followed up on it. That's all they can do. If you have evidence, submit it so we can go investigate it. And then they will. And they-
Well, here you go right here. It says they only brush hog.
I know, but you have to show us the evidence that there's violation of something. You saying it is not really evidence. You have to show us evidence.
Obviously, you don't want to do anything about
No,
it.
that's not what I'm saying, but I'm trying to help you.
You have the power to do it. I mean, I'm trying to avoid having to sue the town. I'm not against it, but I will. Thanks for your time.
I'm sorry.
Adoption of amendment to the Water District Rules and Regulations, summary of fees, penalties, and service charges. whereas the regular town board meeting held on March 14th, 2023, the town board of the town of Princetown called for a public hearing to take place at the April 11th, 2023 town board meeting for the purpose of considering public comment on a proposed amendment to the Water District Rules and Regulations, summary of fees, penalties, and service charges. Be it resolved that local law number 2 of the year 2023 enacted in the town board of the town of Princetown hereby adopts the amendment to the Water District Rules and Regulations, summary of fees, penalties, and service charges as attached herewith. This local law shall take effect on the filing with the Secretary of State required by the Section 27 of the Municipal Home Rule Law. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
You gotta wait for Nicole to come back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, Kristen?
We're voting on resolution 91.
Okay.
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passed. Negative declaration for amendment to the Water District Rules and Regulations, summary of fees, penalties, and service charges. Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Princetown hereby adopts a negative declaration dated April 11, 2023, adoption of an amendment to the Water District Rules and Regulations, summary of fees, penalties, and service charges of the town of Princetown, and hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign the negative declaration as follows. You want me to read the whole? No. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yeah.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, resolution passes. Okay, I guess that's it. Is there any,
Are we going into executive session just quick?
we can,
Should we address it now? Probably.
okay, what are we going on executive session for?
Personnel issue.
Oh, okay.
Should be, Doug? I mean, yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay. You need a motion?
Yeah, I'll make the motion now.
Could I just ask a procedural question? Because you guys reminded everybody that the water thing had to be passed. But the water thing I'm looking at is that the negative declaration, I didn't hear that the negative declaration was passed.
Yeah, we just did.
They didn't read the whole thing. but-
Oh,
We didn't read
okay.
the entire-
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
We can have Crystal read the whole thing.
No.
Everybody does have a copy of it in their agenda, the public, so it wasn't just us.
Okay, like I said, I'm sorry over here, I got upset about this solar project, but we've been dealing with this now for 3 years. This same solar project has been going on for 3 years, and there's nothing we can do about it. Every town has been dealing with this. I don't know what else we can say about it. Jim, you got any comments on that?
Well, I mean, we did what we could do, which was to put to make it so you had to have a minimum 100 acres. We did that to protect the majority of the town. We don't want these little solar farms to pop up on 5 or 7 or 8 acres, because what you'd wind up with would be a town that looks like a Christmas tree with all these things all over the place. So we did what we could do. But the state of New York, starting with Governor Cuomo wanted to be known as the solar governor. And he started this in all seriousness. Our current governor is following step. They want this done. I mean, when you try to fight the state, it's very difficult. We're in no position to do it. I mean, it's just that simple. We go out there, we send Tommy out there, we've been out there, we've examined this thing.
Isn't Doug Colvin out there?
Yeah, everybody's been out there. I mean, we can only do what we can do. It's not like we're completely ignoring this, but the reality is this is gonna happen. Period.
I don't know what else our town engineer has been out there too. He finds nothing wrong with the project. Like I said, Ben and I took the time to go up there. Very, very cold winter day, as a matter of fact. And we had toured the whole project. We did not see pallets falling over and all of these things. We did not observe that. We asked all of the questions. We didn't see any infringement on other properties like we were told. Am I correct?
Yeah, they went
They fenced.
50, 75 feet off and put a fence up.
And by the way, if somebody wants to put a solar project in over 20 megawatts, the state can just do it. There's not a thing the town can do it, period. Nothing, not even our zoning. They can do what they want.
What are we paying the solar company for? What is Princetown, the town of Princetown paying the solar company?
We don't pay them, they pay us in the end.
Oh,
They
I
will
thought-
pay us.
That's called, we have a host agreement with them.
Right. So that $100 a month, which direction is that going?
It's 30,000 a year if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
no, is that a lease on that solar panel?
Oh, you're talking about this little one out here.
Oh.
Oh, that's a whole different thing.
Oh, okay.
We're paying them.
That's a whole different thing. That's
Yeah,
just,
that's a different issue.
that's just a debacle in the past that we have to deal with now. But as far as the large programs, they pay us. And the way that works is every taxpayer in the town of Princetown receives some benefit because they pay us. In this case, it's gonna be about 30,000 a year for 30 years, so it'll be just under $1 million.
When will they be done?
When will they be done? Geez, I can remember 3 years ago when they came in here, foaming at the mouth, it had to be done yesterday. This was 3 years ago, remember?
Yeah?
And I'm literally foaming at the mouth, panicking. Had to be done yesterday. It's 3 years later, it's still fooling around, so God only knows. I don't know.
We're living with that noise also.
Yeah.
Are they at six?
Just bang, 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 all day.
Are
But
they
we-
at 6 days a
Saturday
week?
Fine with that.
morning.
7 o'clock in the morning they start, 7 in the morning.
Yeah, is Sunday the only day that they're not?
Yep.
Yeah.
We can live with that, because we know it's gonna happen.
Because we know it's gonna end,
When
right?
are they 7 to 7 now, or is it 7 to 5?
7 to 5.
7 to 5, that's what they told us.
When we did the tour up there, their goal is to get out of here as soon as possible. They don't really want to be here.
They've been making a lot of progress.
Yeah,
I've
so,
seen it.
did they tell
Fortunately, we
us,
have a summer place, so we'll be up there for the
We're on
summer.
there.
did they
We
tell
won't
us
have to listen to it on Saturday.
June-ish? It was around June.
Yeah, that's what they were talking.
They tried to get 7 days a week, but I don't think.
No,
Oh, thank
they
goodness.
can't do 7.
And I don't think you can on Sunday, 'cause I know our gun club, we can't shoot until certain times.
They said it's 7 to 5, that's when they're gonna be starting to do pounding and.
Oh, it's 7:01 and they're
I
bang.
bet. Yeah, the guy that was there was like, we want to get out of here as soon as possible. So,
Like I say, we toured that whole project up there, they showed us everything, they had the CS Energy there, their engineer or their manager, or whatever he was, whatever his title was, plus the contractor, the general contractor, the manager of that. He rode in his buggy all the way around, showed us the fencing, showed us what they were doing. Everything is done. We had, the only question we had at the time was that it was 28 megawatts as opposed to 20 megawatts. But apparently when they go from DC to AC, it drops down to 20 megawatts.
Is it 20 or 19 something?
Pardon?
It's 20?
Yeah, well, that's what it was put in for, it's supposed to be 19. But it went from 28, Ben said it was 27, I thought I saw
yeah,
28.
it was around there.
And according to Doug Cole, I sent the email to everybody that what he had to say, so it dropped from DC to AC. Lowers it down to what they had proposed. It can only go by what our town engineers say.
The same thing gonna happen, is try to put a cell tower in, Verizon wants to put a cell tower in,
What's that?
Verizon wants to put a cell tower in, like the same problems.
Verizon wants to put a cell tower in.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, we got a registered letter from them about a month ago. If you're interested in having a cell tower put on your property, let them know. Verizon, they were doing it
Oh,
on
I know.
Gifford Church Road.
What's that?
On Gifford Church Road is where they said they wanted to put it.
Yeah, Leslie did say something to me about that.
He got a registered letter, came, you know, and said if you're interested in having it put on your property, let them know, to contact them.
Yeah, he did mention that to me.
I was curious.
They haven't contacted the town.
No, they sent that letter out, registered letter out, so.
I know that I've got an email from the state police about this cell tower out here. They want to meet with us. Apparently they sold the rights to that cell tower and we get no rent for that tower being on town land. So we're gonna be talking about that. They're gonna have to start paying the lease. They wanna keep the tower there. They can take it out, one or the other, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how the town board feels about that. I did get an email from this past week, last Friday, or last Thursday. I called Albany, and they did tell me that the lady that we're supposed to be meeting with, who wants to meet with us, is on vacation this week. And I asked Gerard if he could come to the meeting if I set it up, but Gerard's gonna be out of the country. So I guess we'll have to do it on our own. Anything else? Doug, now we're going into executive session.
We gotta make a motion to adjourn, don't we? Or-
No,
No.
gotta make a
I'll make the
motion.
motion to go into.
Okay, you made that motion,
Okay.
and I'll second it.
Nicole seconded it first. So we're
Okay, all right.
Councilman Camoli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo? Councilman Gray? Councilwoman Morrow?
Yes.
Supervisor?
Yes.
There's no ways of in this town.